Hey everybody, Jack here again with another yoga class. So this class is actually really nice and it's strong yet relaxing, and we're really going to zoom into the side bodies, and it should leave your side bodies feeling really nice and open. So I hope you enjoy this practice, and I'll see you on the mat in a few moments. So let's go ahead and start today in a comfortable cross-legged pose. And I want you to sit up nice and tall, draw the shoulders onto the back, and allow the eyes to fall closed. From here, feel that the base of the pelvis, your sits bones, are rooting down into the mat as you extend up and out through the crown of the head. The shoulders draw onto the back, and you feel a little bit more length from the sides of your hips all the way up to the armpits. So feel not only the front of the chest and the back of the heart get a little bit longer and more buoyant, but also the sides of the body. And we can really notice this length on the inhale. So take a big inhale breath. And an open mouth exhale, release. 2 more of those. Inhale into the belly and then the sides of the ribs, the armpits, the chest. And open mouth exhale, let all of that air release from the lungs. Good. 1 more inhale into the belly, the side ribs, the chest, the collarbones. And open mouth exhale, release every last drop of air. Good. From here, I want you to gently blink the eyes open, and we're going to roll forward into a tabletop pose. From tabletop pose, we'll come into a variation of Anahatasana, puppy dog pose, that focuses a little bit more on the sides of the body. So, while keeping your hips over your knees, step your hands a big, ginormous step forward. So the left hand is at the top left corner of the mat, the right hand is at the top right corner of the mat. Now, as you begin to melt your chest down, pause for a moment and take your left hand on top of your right hand. Root down into the right hand with your left hand and begin to melt the head and the chest down towards the floor, but resist your forearms from touching the mat. Stick the butt up and out. And then finally, leverage a little bit more length in your left side body as you lean your ribs just a little bit more to the left. And you should feel this tremendous sense of length in the left rib cage. Breathe deeply into the left ribs for 2 more breaths. Good. As you feel ready, lift the chest up a little bit, step the left hand to the left corner of the mat, and step the right hand on top of the left hand. Now root down with the right palm, stick the butt up and out, and as you melt the chest and the head down towards the mat again, this time you're going to bulge out through the right rib cage, like they're spreading like an accordion. And then emphasize breathing into your right lung, the outer right armpit, the right side body. Take 2 more deep breaths. Very nice. And then come all the way back to center. Walk your hands back into a tabletop pose. And just begin to make your way through a few cat-cows just to get the breath fully moving. So you're inhaling into cow pose and you're exhaling into cat pose. And you can even bring barrel rolls into the spine. You could move the hips side to side, whatever feels nice, but take about 3 more rounds of breath. Hear the sound of the breath. Very nice. Walk your hands back under your shoulders. And let's inhale into a cow pose. Take a moment, pause here. Exhale, tuck your toes and press back into downward facing dog. The knees will remain bent, and you're really going to melt the chest towards the thighs as you stick your booty up towards the ceiling. Take a big inhale, come onto the tippy toes and straighten your legs. Exhale, press the heels back and down. Good. Pedal your heels out. Maybe pause on one side, keeping the right leg straight. And then move to the other side. And then when you feel ready, just find some stillness and center in downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, let's inhale, glide forward into a plank pose. Take a moment and pause here. Wake up the legs, press the finger pads and the knuckles down. Now I want you to feel that the outer shoulders are broadening, the collarbones are broad. Lift the head up a little bit. Hinge forward onto your tippy toes. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down to your belly. Take your sweet time. Inhale, cobra pose or an upward facing dog. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Exhale, tuck the toes and press back, downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, reach the right leg high. Bend the right knee and open your hip. Now I want you to flex that top right foot and reach the bottom of the foot to the left. Almost feel as if you were going to flip the dog. So really bring this into the side body, but drive through the right hand back down on the mat. Good. Inhale, stretch the right leg long. Exhale, step the right foot to the outside of your right hand at the top of the mat. Good. From here, lower the back left knee down to the mat. In a moment, the right knee is going to try to follow you to the left. Don't let that happen. So bring more weight into the pinky toe side of your front foot. Now turn your torso 45 degrees off to the left. Walk your hands forward and off of that diagonal, almost like your torso is in a downward facing dog, but your legs are in that low lizard lunge. Re-emphasize rooting into the outside of your right foot to track the right knee open. And you might even step your right hand on top of the left hand like you did a few moments ago in that Anjanayasa variation, so that you can really get into the right ribs and the right side body. Good. On your next inhale, walk your hands back under your knees, under your shoulders. Tuck your left toes, lift off the left knee. Inhale, three-legged dog. Reach the right leg back to the sky. Exhale, step the right foot in between your hands at the top of the mat. Lower the back left knee down. Inhale, low lunge, Arda Anjanayasa. Reach the hands above the head. Now you're going to capture the left wrist or forearm with your right hand and side bend up and over to your right. Notice, are you sticking your butt out? Is your pelvis tilting forward? Can you lift the front rim of the pelvis up? Simultaneously sink your hips a little bit lower and really get deep into that side bend. Take the chin away from the chest. 2 more deep breaths. Good. Inhale, reach both hands above the head towards the sky. Exhale, take your hands down and step right back into downward facing dog. Inhale, glide forward into a plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga, lowering down. Upward facing dog or a cobra, broaden the shoulders. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the left leg high, bend the left knee and open your hip. Like before, flex the left foot and reach the bottom of the foot to the right. Get into the side body, leverage length. Drive through the left hand, including the finger pads and the knuckles. Go a little bit deeper. Good. Inhale, straighten the left leg long. Exhale, step the left foot to the outside of the left hand at the top of the mat. Lower the back right knee down. Emphasize weight into the pinky toe side of your front foot so that the knee tracks more to the left. Turn your torso 45 degrees off to your right and begin to walk your hands forward at that diagonal. The chest will melt towards the floor. And for the kind of last cherry on top here, you might take the left hand on top of your right hand, root down through that hand, and leverage more and more length into the left rib cage. Opening the side bodies can be really intense and cathartic for the body. It's like a back bend. Give it 2 more breaths on this side. Good. Walk your hands back under your shoulders. Tuck your right toes, 3-legged dog. Reach the left leg back up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step the left foot in between your hands. Bring the right knee down. Low lunge or half crescent lunge. Reach the hands above the head. Capture onto your right wrist or your forearm with your left hand. Now as you side bend up and over to your left, feel that the left side body is shortening a little bit. So there's, some people will say that you have to keep both side bodies long in a side bend. But the reality is, if you really want to get long in one side body, you have to shorten the other side body because they work relative to one another. Take the chin away from the chest. Lift the front rim of the pelvis, sink lower, and give it 2 more deep breaths. Inhale, come back to center, reach the hands high. Exhale, take the hands down, step back, downward facing dog. From here, walk the feet out as wide as your mat and walk your hands back to meet your feet at the very back of the mat. Let's take an inhale, halfway lift with the feet a little bit wider. Now exhale, turn the toes out, sink the butt down towards the heels. So you're in a malasana. Hands will meet at heart center for now. Good. Now capture onto your right ankle with your left hand. So you're crossing that left arm in front. Reach the right hand high and then up and over towards your left. So once again, another side bend. Now, don't let the knees do any wonky things here. Press the knees energetically out into resistance, into that kind of fake imagined resistance. Good. We're going to switch sides. Take your right hand to your left ankle and reach the left hand up and over to your right. The knees are prying open, and as you reach, you also turn the chest open towards the sky a little bit. 1 more breath. Good. Touch your hands down. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, heel toe the feet hips distance apart and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, walk the hands back into downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into a plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Come onto your forearms for Sphinx pose. Let's interlace the fingers, tuck the toes, and lift up into forearm plank. So there's a rhyme to the reason here, or there's a reason to this rhyme. So if you have no idea what I'm trying to say, stick the butt up to the sky, walk the feet forward, and come into dolphin pose. I'm not just adding in forearm plank for no reason, but I'm trying to continue to get that arm above the head opening. So as you drive through the wrists and the elbows, really slide or energetically try to slide the forearms forward, and that will bring the chest a little bit more towards your thighs. Stick the patootie up towards the sky. Press, press, press for 2 more deep breaths. Very nice. Walk back out into forearm plank. Before you lower down, take an inhale, lift your head. Exhale, bring the hips all the way down to the mat. Inhale, broaden the chest in Sphinx pose. Exhale, plant the palms, tuck the toes, and press back. Downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, take an inhale, look between the thumbs. Exhale, step or jump all the way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way above the head towards the sky, grow tall. Exhale, bring the hands right through heart center. Inhale, hands rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips, Uttanasana. Inhale, Arda Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right foot back, bring the knee down. Inhale, half crescent lunge, reach up, meet the palms, and look at your thumbs. Exhale, hands down, step back into plank pose. Take an inhale, lift the head, hinge forward. Exhale, chaturanga, lowering down. Upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the right leg high. Exhale, step the right foot in between your hands, left knee down. Inhale, half crescent lunge, meet the palms and look at your thumbs as you reach. Exhale, hands down, step forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips. Inhale, hands rise, drive through the heels, grow tall, meet the palms. Exhale, hands through heart center, samastitihi. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, Arda Uttanasana, halfway. Exhale, left foot back, bring the knee down. Inhale, sweep the hands above the head, Arda Anjanayasa. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into a plank. Exhale, chaturanga, lowering down. Upward facing dog or cobra, press the floor away. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, reach the left leg high. Exhale, step the left foot in between the hands, right knee down. Inhale, reach the hands high, meet the palms, look at your thumbs. Exhale, hands down, step forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips. Inhale, sweep the hands above the head, grow tall. Exhale, hands through heart center, samastitihi. One sun A. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or jump back, right through chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra, pull yourself through. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, look between the thumbs. Exhale, step or jump all the way to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, hands rise, grow tall. Exhale, hands through heart center. So this next sun A is going to be a little bit different because I'm not going to cue anything. I want you to move through it at your own pace, but with your breath. If you get lost, just take a look up at your screen, and I'm going to make my breath very audible so you can kind of know the ideal pace. So let's begin. Three breaths. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, jump, or float to the top of the mat. Really nice. So a lot of you have been practicing with me for a while now, so you should feel comfortable with those sun salutations. We do them basically every single time. So from here, inhale, reach the hands above the head, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step, jump, or float. Make your way through an optional vinyasa, or decide, no thanks, Jack, and skip it and just come right to down dog. But when you get to downward facing dog, let's go ahead and inhale, reach the right leg high to the sky. Exhale, step the right foot in between the hands. Ground your left heel, warrior two. Inhale, rise up. Good. Exhale, sit nice and low. Inhale, reverse warrior. Breathe into your right side body. Sit low and pause here. So a few things to think about. Is your left leg, your back leg, straight? Are you sending weight into the pinky toe side of your front foot? And are you really breathing into your right rib cage? Good. From here, inhale, warrior two, rise up. Exhale, straighten the right leg and drop your right hip. Inhale, reach the right hand forward, forward, forward. Exhale, tick-tock the arms for triangle pose, Trikonasana. So we're going to do a slightly different variation of this pose. I want you to reach the left arm long by the ear and face the palm down. So it's already getting a little bit more side bendy. But now, begin to melt your right ribs towards your right thigh and walk your right hand at the outside of the leg back towards the left heel. Reach the left arm more and more by the ear, closer and closer towards your right foot. And even if you need to turn the chest down a little bit, do it if you can almost grab your right foot. Good. Give it a few more deep breaths here and really get into that right side body. So at this point, the right side body and the left side body should be feeling pretty warm and ready to go. Excuse the police sirens in the back. That's what I get for living in a city. Good. From here, bend your right knee. Place the hands down to the top of the mat. Inhale, step back into a plank pose. Exhale, lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or a cobra or a locust. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the left leg high to the sky. Exhale, step the left foot in between your hands at the top of the mat. Ground your left heel, rise up, warrior two. Pause in warrior two. I'm going to keep going even though the sirens also keep going because that's just the reality of life. Sometimes you hear sirens. It doesn't make the practice imperfect or the audio. But I'm really just saying that for my own ego. Nice. Let's open the left palm. Inhale, reverse warrior. Breathe into the left side body as you reach up and back. Sit low into that left knee. Straighten your right leg to the best of your ability. Sit a little bit lower. 2 more breaths. Good. From here, inhale, warrior two. Exhale, straighten the left leg, drop the left hip for sassy hips. Inhale, reach the left hand forward. Tick-tock the arms, come into Trikonasana triangle pose. Face the right palm forward and reach the right arm by the ear. Now, just like before, you're going to make this more and more about the side body as you walk the left hand back towards your right heel. You might bend the left knee a little bit if the hamstrings are a bit tighter, and reach the right hand more and more towards your left foot. You might even wrap the chest down a little bit. So this is different than Trikonasana. Just kind of let go of the way you think about Trikonasana and just do what I'm telling you to do. I only say that because I have experience with people being kind of confused with his shape because they're stuck on the idea that this is triangle pose. But it's not triangle pose. One more breath. Bend the left knee, place the hands down to the top of the mat, and go ahead and step back into plank pose. Big inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, lowering down. Upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look way past your thumbs. Exhale, step, jump, or float all the way through. And we're just going to plop right down onto the butt. So we're going to bring the legs out wide for Upavishta Konasana, but we're going to bring this into Parivrtta Upavishta Konasana, side bend variation. So take right hand to right ankle or right forearm down to the floor in front of the shin if you're a little bit more open. Reach the left arm by the ear as you side bend up and over to your right. The left hip is probably going to lift away from the floor if you have a little bit more flexibility, and that's really good, so let that happen. If you have the foot, I want you to capture onto the foot and then try to turn the right ribs up to the sky. Almost feel like you were going to roll onto your back because you're really leaning back into this. Trust fall a little bit. If you're a little bit more restricted, just continue to do your best. You might even bend the left elbow and take the left hand to the right side of the head. One more breath. Very, very nice. Sit all the way up, and let's find the opposite side. Take the left hand to left ankle or left forearm to the floor in front of the shin. Reach the right arm up and over, and get deep into that side bend. So you know the deal. If you have the foot, turn the chest open. Literally try to twist the spine. This is not only a side bend, but it is a spinal rotation and a forward fold. Lots of stuff going on here, like in a lot of side bends, to be honest. Two more deep breaths. Good. On your next inhale, sit all the way up. Cross the legs and close the eyes for a moment in that seated cross-legged pose. Because this is, a slightly shorter class, I just want you to spend a few moments here before we lie onto the back. And because this practice is really all about side bends and a little bit about hamstrings and inner thighs, because that's the nature of side bending, I just want you to feel this sense of satisfaction as if you've just done everything you've needed to do for your body. And of course, for those of you that are really craving more asana, you're welcome to just check out another one of my classes to supplement this. But if you're thinking that that was enough, then all I want you to do is just join me by lying down onto your back and getting set up for Shavasana. And as you settle into Shavasana, maybe tuck the shoulders under the back a little bit. And all I want you to do is just really carefully and detailed observe how it is to be in your body, especially after all of those side bends that usually leave the body feeling really nice and open and relaxed. So we're going to be here for about a minute, and I will get you out when it is time. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachitananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachitananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachitananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. One more. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachitananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om. 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 I'm going to leave you here in Shavasana. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your rest, and I hope to see you next time, my friends. Namaste, Om Shanti Shanti. May there be peace, peace, peace